Um, Hello everyone, thank you for inviting us for this event. Today I will present one project that has been recently completed. It is the School of Politics Science called Sciences Politiques in Paris, in the 7th district, in the heart of Paris. The School of Sciences Po is basically, right now the site is, so it's one of the most famous schools of politics science in France. And it is spread, before that competition, the school was spread into 7 buildings. And where most of the university or schools might look for other terrain outside of the city where it is cheaper and easier, the school decided to launch a competition to stay in Paris and actually to recentrate on one unique campus in what is called the Hôtel de l'Artillerie, an historical building, an old Coventry of the 17th century. This choice is a bold choice because it means that it's in a very high dense site, where there is a lack of surfaces, and that led us to a certain decision that you will see, which is how to find square meters in this context, in particular by looking in the underground, as you will see in the presentation. So it's a project of refurbishment, mostly, and a bit of extension with the only little construction which was allowed to be built in this very unique preserved heritage site. So, it's here. It is organized through, so it's a terrain of 10,000 square meters, organized with 3 courtyards that wave together and organize the distribution of the sites. And the little building that I will focus on is a little rectangle that you can see in the main courtyard. So it will develop at the end, it's about 15,000 square meters. Yep, this one. So you can see this is the entrance. So it's very narrow entrance. If you imagine the whole complex, which is hidden behind this door, that brought also a certain amount of complexity in terms of site construction, as we were excavating quite a lot and refurbishing heavily the existing heritage building. So here you can see this is the historical part where in the 17th century 50 monks were there collecting already like books, making collections. And the intervention here is really about cleaning up things, making things flat for the courtyard, so it is accessible for all. And you can see other beautiful spaces here. So for the story, at the revolution, the military took over the place, and it became a center for the military where they actually created weapons and tested weapons. So you could imagine in the center of Saint-Germain-des-Prés, people firing, basically, in the city. So that it became also a museum at a certain point of military art, and we came after that period to create the University of Sciences Po. So here you can see this axonometric drawing that shows the entire extent of the facility, and the bottom diagram shows all what is underground. So you can see we did excavate quite a lot to enable to bring all the surfaces that was expected to place. And one of the strategies was to create this natural amphitheater carved into the ground to bring light in the library, which is underground, and make the connection with the different levels. The idea was to make disappear that we were underground, of course. Here you can see the pavilion, which is quite small in terms of surface. The main idea is to make it transparent. It's a symbol of what we could imagine to be the politics science school as a message towards the communities. From inside, you will see, I will go again to the little detail of this facade. The principle of the concept of this project is that the facade is, you can open the entire facade by pivot doors that are going from slab to slab. Here again, you can understand where the the amphitheater, landscaped amphitheater is carved into the ground. And on the section on the right, you could see that also. So it's quite generous space, like about 5 meters underground excavated. And this is in the library. You can see also the pavilion on the background. You can see really the light is literally generous and present. We did play with a variation of gray shades, like playing the natural roughness of the concrete to reveal the slabs, the columns, and the metal. You can see here with acoustic panels, that's the cafeteria, which is on the left underground, and acoustic panels on the left. The facade is quite reflective, also for necessities against heat gain. So the concrete slab, which are going, extending the slab towards the exterior, is also playing this role to create shades. The building can be naturally ventilated, so you can have a cross ventilation inside this little pavilion. Here you can see in section. And when the facade is open with this large pivot door. So the principle of openness and transparency is really trying to dissipate the limit between inside and outside and create this symbol of porosity and inclusivity of the school facing this natural amphitheater. And yes, that's it. Thank you.